Welcome to Collector Chatter. In today's episode, Funko is now in the video game business and a ton of other news and leaks that we're going to talk about.
They're fire. As we all know, collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. This is episode 98. I'm your host Migs. Here as always my co-host Charlie. What's up, Charlie?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Can't wait to talk about all the news that we have. Now we finally got a bunch of like leaks and
Some pretty
potential
awesome
stuff
ones.
that's coming out. Yeah, some waves and some lines and some interesting things, but it's cool because we haven't seen like a big amount like this in a while to come out in this batch of stuff. And like I also said in the intro, there is something that Funko has now officially gotten itself into, which we did hear about it a long time ago. I almost felt like it wasn't going to come out because it kind of just there was
Agreed.
nothing, no talk about it. But it's going to be the video game, and we'll talk about a little bit of that. That Funko is in that world now. Of course, we love talking about NFT news, so we do have some news in terms of like the last drop that came out and the newest drop that's going to be coming out, which I know last episode, if you guys didn't check it out, episode 97, featured a lot of the anime style and the Funime stuff. But now we actually know what these redeemables and stuff are looking like. So very excited to talk about that and maybe some other stuff going forward in the rest of the episode. But we'll start it off. We'll start off with the new with the game
Yeah.
because I think that's kind of like the big one where it's something new and different. If you guys don't know, Funko Fusion is the name of this game, and it's an actual video game. PlayStation, Xbox. That's you're
Yeah.
gonna be
A
able to play it
console
on
game,
there.
not just a
Yeah,
phone game or anything like that.
exactly. Not one of those like yeah, little iOS type things. But we heard about this a long time
A
ago,
long time ago.
uh, and then, like I said, it seemed like it just disappeared. And for a while, I thought it just wasn't going to come out. Because then when we got a little bit of news on like that it was going to be, and we got a little like trailer type of thing and stuff, we were like, I started thinking like, I thought this didn't exist again. I thought it was fake or something.
Yeah.
And
I thought
now
it
we're
went to
getting it.
development hell, but it
Yeah,
clearly
it just seemed like it wasn't gonna come out, but we are getting it, and there's pretty cool stuff behind it in terms of like if you pre-order it and stuff, because I think it's coming out. Is it like September? Is that
comes
the
out in
date that I
September.
saw?
Yep.
Okay, so it is being pre-ordered currently, where you can actually get some like certain characters that you can unlock and stuff. But overall, what are kind of your thoughts on? I know you're a pretty big fan. I'm gonna be honest, straight off out the bat. I'm kind of just like whatever about it. I'm not as
Yeah.
excited. It just doesn't seem like something I would play, I guess. But I mean, we'll get into it. But I know you
Yeah.
you were a
I
fan
mean,
of it, so
I'm pretty excited for it. I think it looks really good. Much higher quality than I expected. I mean, it's a pretty small, like, gaming studio that's making it, so I didn't really have high hopes, but I think the fact that they have one of the major things of it, it's basically all Universal IP, which has its
yeah,
pluses and minuses. But we're getting a wide range of different characters that are able to do it. I mean, it's giving me the vibes of, I mean, it won't be as big as obviously like a Fortnite per se, but it's got co-op and then it's all, which I'm sure you're gonna be able to play online, but there's gonna be a main storyline as well. I think it mixes up a lot of popular type games, and I weirdly think it could get some people into Funko that have never been into Funko before, like just straight up gamers. You would think most of them may be collectors, but some aren't. And like I said, it looks much higher quality. I mean, I know we only saw a trailer, but I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna do pretty well for Funko.
yeah, yeah. It definitely looks pretty cool. I mean, it's cool to see like they're literally Funko Pops that are
Yeah,
moving around and playing in this world. I didn't look too much into it, so I get like I'm glad you kind of mentioned a few of the details of it because I didn't really know how the gameplay was in terms of like co-op and online. Or are you gonna have a story mode? Like, what's the whole point of the game? Like, you're just running around with people that look like that are Funko
yeah,
Pops. So I guess that's why I was kind of not like super hyped on like knowing more about what it actually was gonna be, entailing gameplay wise. It does have some interesting characters, some cool ones, some that we've never seen really in Funko
yeah.
Pop form, which is cool, and some that we have, and obviously some big names, some kind of small, more minor characters, like almost a little random, some of them that you're seeing in this. But it does open up the world where like maybe they're able to get more downloadable characters and adding
Yeah, which
more
I
and
think would be cool.
kind of growing from that, which is definitely big for them, of course, if they can get into that world. I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I totally agree like that, non Funko people who are just gamer, they're going to get into Funko because of this. And the only reason why I say that is because I feel like I could play a game and not really go after that specific thing, like collect other things
Yep.
about it just because it's a game. So, but who knows? I mean, maybe like it because there's actual collectibles that they're going to be, there's actual pops
There
that are going to be
is,
coming out.
which they haven't said if this is the case, but I'm leaning towards it's not, which I now here's where I'll say like my negatives for this. I think it's a huge miss. Is it seems like they're making a Funko Fusion line of physicals, but like they don't do anything with the game. I really feel like they should have gone like the Nintendo Amiibo route, which if you're not familiar, basically Nintendo comes out with collectibles and you scan them onto your Switch and you get either certain outfits, certain abilities, and like all different games. It doesn't even always need to be just like for that one game. Like the Mario one works for tons of different games. I think they should have done that to kind of give you an incentive to buy the physicals,
Yeah.
where it's seeming like it's just a line, which that I think is a little lame. Um, but maybe they just haven't announced yet. But I feel like they would have. That would have been like something to go out with when they made this announcement.
Yeah. Yeah. It also reminds me of when you were just saying the amiibo thing of like Skylanders. Remember
Exactly.
those?
Disney
And like,
Infinity did it.
yeah,
Lego's
like,
done
yeah.
it. Oh, it
Yeah. You have the
actually
physical
has
thing, you go enter it into the
failed
game.
in the past, which is it, like
All of those
maybe
kind
that's
of
why
in
Funko
reality
hasn't done
aren't.
it. Yeah, Amiibo's the only thing that's still around, but like that's just because it's Nintendo.
Mhm.
And people collect those just to collect them actually.
Yeah, but I
But
agree. It is a little. It's definitely like just like a wave that's under the umbrella of Fusion. Funko Fusion, the line, like the boxes. They look a little. I don't love them like the actual physical ones. I'm talking about like the characters that they chose to come out with, and it is a bit odd. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I think this maybe will hit maybe with some kids. I think a younger age will probably
yep,
get into wanting to get the game and stuff. So they're kind of fit into that world. But definitely let us know what you guys think because I would love to know like how's the community. Like it seems like it's kind of a little bit back and forth on if they like this idea or not. But it is kind of their first, time doing this. So it's interesting, like for the future, like are they going to come out with like a Fusion Part 2, which just kind of extends from this, or does this open up the world of Funko just getting into games with
in
big
general.
consoles? Yeah, but just Funko related, So like that would be interesting if they do more stuff like that. But definitely thought that was something very big in the news because, like I said, we've heard about this a long time ago. Thought it kind of disappeared, but now we officially got the official stuff, the pre-orders and dates and stuff as to when this will be launching. But yeah, I wonder if like it falls into that Fortnite world of like online, gaming part where it's just like everyone's like going crazy for it just because they're these like little characters. And I'm assuming like you fight each other. Is that kind of like the basis of
Yeah, I
it?
mean, and even from the trailer, one thing that I found interesting, it seems like there's some elaborate storyline that was made that connect like there's a reason for it. It's not just like, okay, we're just throwing all these characters and they're just fighting. I'm assuming that's what you will do in the co-op, but you may do missions. Like they haven't said that much about it, which
Yeah,
then part
still
of me is like,
early.
yeah, maybe there still will be more to come. Um, and the one thing that I found interesting, the pre-order bonuses, like one, if you pre-order you get Rick and Michonne from the Walking Dead comic book,
Mhm.
um, which I just find that it's super cool. It's just interesting, and I could be wrong, but there does seem like to be a few licenses within this game that aren't universal. They're very sporadic. That being one of them, which I
Yeah.
do find interesting. Like they're kind of acting like Universal. Their
Was like
logo.
WB under Universal
No, it's not.
because we have DC stuff in
I don't
there
think there's
too.
anything DC in there.
Isn't Oh no,
That's you're thinking that's
that's
Nightwing,
Umbrella
aren't you? Yeah,
Academy?
it's
Yeah, I thought
which
it was
that's
Nightwing right away.
Universal. Yeah,
Okay.
but I see the Invincible, which is the same Skybound, which is the company that makes The Walking Dead too. But then I don't think Masters of the Universe is Universal. I could be wrong.
Yeah, must be, I would think, right?
It's just interesting.
Yeah. Well, guess we'll see kind of how it goes and how, it is like odd that we get in a pre-order and there's not like actual details of the game. That's a little odd because you would think you would know exactly what the game is, everything about it, and then you get to order it. So I guess it's a little like we don't, I mean, maybe there is, maybe we haven't just
The
dug deep
gaming industry
enough.
is like that though now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
because they
like the
want to get your
name
money
and
up
then they
front.
just,
They
yeah,
want to
just
get
get
your
your
money
name.
up front before the game comes out and gets bad reviews or good review. Like
Of
that, like that's been
course.
like a complaint in the gaming world as of late. Because some people are like, why would I pre-order a game anymore? Which I
Mhm.
think is why the companies are now giving those pre-order incentives.
Yeah. Which a lot of those things, I mean, not to get into a rant, something different. A lot of those things are always like very online gaming based.
Yeah.
Like even like I'm a diehard like sports game. I pretty much just mostly play sports games. And like I never get the legendary versions or the more expensive ones, or when you pre-order, you get all these like bonus coins and shit to buy.
Yeah, there's no
Team.
point.
I don't play any of that stuff. So it's like I don't never really care about that. I just want to get it when it comes out. But yeah, so we'll move on from the Funko Fusion game, but definitely, if you guys are on YouTube, comment
Yeah,
down
let us know.
below. Let us know what your thoughts are. And if you're over on the podcast, hop over to YouTube, check us out over there as well. Make sure to like this video. As always, we like to definitely want your support. We're getting to episode 100, so subscribe
Yeah.
to the channel. Definitely help us out. But we'll move on to the next thing, which I think is something pretty awesome. I kind of want to. I mean, I know we have a couple things we want to talk about. You want to talk about some of the drops and the leaks, or you want to get into the Funime stuff because I'm kind of excited about that too.
Let's end with the fun of May.
Okay, all right, we'll
Let's
let you
end with
guys.
that.
Yeah.
We're gonna
So
make you
we'll
wait a little bit. We'll go with
we'll
some of
get
the
yeah,
leaks.
we'll go into the leaks. So for a while we would have leaks and news sections of this podcast. Now talking about being at episode 98, a lot of our episodes were kind of
This.
centered around that, right? But for a while there wasn't much stuff that was exciting us or anything that we really wanted to point out or like this is cool, this is coming out or not. But we do have some stuff, some pages here, like Diss Tracker is a big page. Obviously, you put stuff up, has kind of reposted a lot of these like leaker pages. I know Scarlet Joker's a big one, Funko Info. So like they've been kind of on board with like dropping stuff that's gonna officially pretty much drop. And they just don't really give dates and stuff. They just say, like, hey, this is gonna be coming out soon. Look
Yeah.
out for it type of thing. And there's a lot of waves that are gonna be coming out in the near future of some pretty cool stuff and some individual pops as well. I don't know, Charlie, if you got something off the top of your head that was,
Yeah.
exciting to you, you can start it off and then we'll kind of just run through some of these.
One that was exciting to me, which even though you may think there's been way too many of these pops, but is Ninja Turtle ones. And here's why. These pops that this line is are of the original toys that I collected as a kid. Like they haven't made pops that look like this before, even though they have the Ninja Turtles that are under Retro Toys line. They don't look anything like the original toys. These do. And I think they're super cool because even when those original toys came out, like they all had a different shade of green, like the plastics, and this is clearly them. So for me, this is like ultimate nostalgic. And to me, it becomes the premium. I mean, I know they're not like the OG grails, but like to me, this is like if you can only have one Ninja Turtle set, if you're a kid of my age upbringing, like this would be it. So I'm shocked it took this long for them to make these, but I absolutely love them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like gives you that kind of old vibe, their face, their mouths and stuff. Like it really fits into that classic cartoon. Like you said, it's on their pop television, so it obviously fits into that style. But it is a line that like you just see so many of. It's true, like you said. Like they
Yeah.
really do make a ton of different ones. And now the thing is, there are so many different versions of Ninja Turtles. So it's not like they're just making this stuff up. Clearly, they exist in, you know, live action movie form, cartoon, comic, new versions of cartoons, new versions of live action movie. Like there's so many that they could just come
Yeah.
out with. And that's clearly video game. Like there's clearly so many. But yeah, this just kind of fits into the old one. It is cool to have the set. A little random. We got Splash thrown in
I
there
did think that was
along
random,
along with the other four
but cool.
main turtles. So obviously it makes you think like the waves are so big, but like are they going to continue this one, with the shredders and splinters and stuff of the world, or is it just kind
Yeah,
of sticking to the turtles? Which I think if it's just the classic turtles, it'd be good enough. But yeah, I agree. It's definitely a a cool looking wave, like something that's exciting to see because it reminds you of the nostalgic feel, which obviously is the big reason why we got into Funko collecting, really, was
exactly.
that whole nostalgia thing. But next up, we have another movie, which this is I mean, they do make some of these pops, but we haven't seen this done in pop form in a while, and it's some Shrek stuff,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. So obviously, we probably have some really OG stuff, but this way we do have Shrek, we have a Princess Fiona, Puss in Boots, and it's like classic looking, sad face. We got Gingy there, the gingerbread, and then even Donkey, which looks like the donkey. Is it a scented one? Am I seeing that sticker right?
Let me
No,
see.
glitter, which is interesting. It's because the whatever's like around him is all in glitter, I guess. I don't even know
Oh
what that
yeah,
is.
that's like when he was like flying.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, where he has like the powers that are
Yeah.
floating up the dust. So, I mean, it's all right. I'm not like I like Shrek, but I don't really collect any of the stuff, so it's not like anything that I'm like I gotta go after. But I know there's some hardcore fans out there of Shrek and stuff. So, if you want to get another wave of him, it's man, it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think an anniversary is coming up. The only Shrek Pops I think that exist are like OG ones.
Yeah.
So this will give fans a chance to get stuff that otherwise they couldn't or they don't want to spend the money on.
Mhm.
But I completely agree with you. I mean, they're cool. They're just, I don't think they'll be part of my collection. But a pop that will be part of my collection, which I still think is insane that they're making these, is another Voodoo Ranger beer. This time we're getting Juice Force. The original one that they came out with, I guess now probably about a year ago, was just of the standard Voodoo Ranger beer. I mean, there's tons of different kinds. Um, I just think these are super cool. Um, I still think it's funny. It says 21 plus on the box. And you
Yeah.
would think the last one, I think did sold pretty well. And I'm assuming is why they decided to make another one within this ad icons. I actually wish they made more things like this,
Yeah.
of adult beverages. I think it's kind of would be a cool line for them to get into, but at least we're getting something.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think we said it even the last time, if I don't, mistaken, that it's just like such a cool looking like character and
Yeah.
like a mold to make anyway. So, like, the first one they did was like perfect, spot on. And then now we're getting this just another version of just a different type of Voodoo Ranger beer. So, it's cool that we're getting another, character of that. Do you have that first one?
I
Because I
do.
know you really
Yeah,
wanted it.
I do have it. It's
Yeah.
cool. I've even bought in that pop actually for presents for a few people
Oh,
who
yeah.
like don't collect Funko Pops, and I'm like, I know you like beer, which is, and they've always been like, wow, this is awesome. I can't believe they make a Funko Pop of this.
Yeah. Which is cool. Then we got some retro toys. Speaking of retro toys, we got some more Barbie Pops. So this is for it looks like the 65th anniversary. Because there's two. Well, what's interesting is one of them has a sticker saying 65th. The other one, the box actually says
Oh my God, I
65th,
didn't
which
notice that.
is
That's
very
funny.
random. Yeah, we got Barbie Astronaut, which is the one that has the box saying it, and then we have Totally Hair Barbie, which is the one that has a sticker on it. And again, this isn't like, the new movie Barbie or anything. This is like more just a classic actual toy because it's under retro toys as that wave. Just more Barbie stuff, not anything that I'm like excited for or going to go after. But if you're a Barbie completionist and you love the Funko Pops, you got two more to add to that wave.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But they're cool. I think they're, why not keep making Barbie Funko Pops? I mean, it became really popular in a weird way. It probably gets some people into Funko that
Hmm.
weren't in it before. Um, this next one, in my opinion, it's a little too late. We're getting DC Titans, which was, I mean, dating the show. I mean, it was DC Infinite Universe. I don't even remember the name of the streaming service before that got folded. over into HBO Max because they
Hmm.
shut down this, which HBO Max is now called Max. The show has been canceled. Like, I don't think it has that big of a following where, like, at this point, they want to make Funko Pops because all of these characters, they're all going to show up in James Gunn's new universe with all new like actors, looks. I'm shocked Funko made these. I would have stopped these before they went into production unless they already were. I think this
Yeah.
is weird. Um, I don't know what's your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they look cool. If you ever watch the show, they literally look just like
Yeah, they
them. Like they did
do.
a good job. But it is, I'm sure there are some fans out there and like maybe some hardcore completion people that are like, I gotta have these if that we finally got some cool Titans pops. But it is interesting with the whole thing and with the show. And like you said, and yeah, the whole universe basically essentially being reset. Funko's not the best when it comes to timing, when it comes to a
No.
lot of different things that they drop, as far as like just being late, and they do it all the time. So this is, I don't expect them to be perfect and on time because some stuff does change really fast and out of nowhere. And I know they got to produce this stuff and it does take time, but there is some stuff that I feel like they could just kind of scrap and probably not lose out on versus dropping them and probably just having them sit around and probably losing more money that way. But, we're not in the business of business. So who knows? We may be totally wrong. Uh, but the next one is something that I am excited for, and this is somewhere where they actually kind of mess up a lot of time when it comes to timing, and that's the
Yes.
we have some NFL pops. The picture actually that was dropped with some NFL pops and then a couple other random pops. We have like a new Tupac, a new Tupac Shakur one, Thug Life, and then a Phantasm Tall Man. So those are a little random to be in this like announcement, but the football ones are the ones that I'm really excited for. We do have, a Geno Smith one with the cool like green colored Seahawks jersey. We got an Amon-Ra St. Brown, which awesome player. That's a really cool one, and he's got like the big tape around his face, which also Christian McCaffrey has. So that's awesome that we got two of those. And then we're getting another Patrick Mahomes. We already have so many of him. It's a cool one because it is him without the helmet. I've always kind of said that this is a cooler version of him with his hair. Obviously, he's got a very like unique look with the hair. He is throwing the football. I think in the Super Bowl version, this is like what they picked for
It
him, and
is.
everyone
Yeah.
else had a helmet. Which I said I love the way he looked. I just hate that he was the only one and everyone else had helmets. They
And
should
this
have
is
done
why
it.
they did it.
They should have done it universally across the board. But we're getting another him, which obviously we get so many of certain players where it's just a little bit different uniform. Now he's just wearing all red. We obviously, I think, have him in white and red, and maybe even white, red and white, whatever.
He's
And
had
then
it
we're
all.
getting good old Aaron Rodgers on the Jets, which, if you guys don't know, obviously half of Collector Chatter, diehard Jets fan over there. Um, so this was cool, and there's a couple things I want to say about this. So one, interesting that we're getting a Jets pop because they don't seem to want to make Jets
No.
players in pop form. We've kind of gone over that conversation a while, unless they're like random guys that we would never thought should have been in a pop. But lately, they got Sauce. He came out. They did throw back the name at the stuff. So obviously, we're getting some more. It's cool that we're getting Rodgers. He's obviously a big name. I know the jersey is kind of like the older version because the Jets actually did change their jerseys. So that was like the whole timing thing I was talking about before. But what I do like is that one, he's not with the helmet because I've always said I like those versions of Pops more when it comes to football. But what's cool is he's holding his helmet. So like this pose is super sick. Like most of the time you get them just standing, maybe with a football in their hand, or sometimes they don't have it at all. Sometimes they have a beanie, sometimes they have the helmet. But when don't have anything, I think it looks the coolest when you see the hair and stuff. And him holding the helmet is really cool. But it was funny when we were talking about this offline before, is that what's hilarious is that that football helmet's completely scaled to his body. Obviously, it's him holding it, so it makes sense. But his head is so massive because obviously it's a Funko Pop. It's just funny to think that like that helmet would be put on his head. So like you don't ever really see a person holding something that goes on their head, I feel like, for the most part, when it comes to Funko. They can be holding
No, you're right.
items, but it makes sense that it's scaled to their body. You just never think of it like that's supposed to go on their head, so it looks kind of funny. But it's cool. And I think like that's a great one to have, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers. He's a huge name. I feel like they probably don't even make too many Aaron Rodgers pops, I feel like. I mean, I know there's obviously got to be one him in Green Bay, but
Yeah, they
it's
make a
it is
Super
interesting
Bowl
that they did it.
championship one too of his, like the
Oh,
very few
okay.
they did with that hat.
Yeah.
But this
So
is
that's
a
cool.
new look, new mold, new everything. I love, I mean, obviously, you already said it, and everyone knows probably if you listen. I'm a huge Jets fan, but like when I saw this image, I was like, wow, this pop is badass. Like it just looks cool. You almost feel like Aaron Rodgers demanded the pop look like this. I know he didn't really, but like it seems like something he would do. And I like kind of how you said it, they've changed it up and with him holding the helmet because like the Pat Mahomes one. I mean, you're never gonna actually really see him looking like that, probably tossing a football. Where like if you did want to see his like unique look, I like I wish the Pat Mahomes one looked like this too, if that makes sense. Like it was kind of him just standing there holding the helmet. Like part of me is like, will this be a new look going forward for certain players?
Yeah. Well, it definitely, I don't know if you looked into it this much, but they definitely go through waves of molds and like you'll see a bunch of the same, like that running mold that you see Christian McCaffrey and now that's a pretty
Yeah,
new mold that they have been coming out with a lot of receivers and running backs in that style. And then the Patrick Mahomes one, we have seen that before, obviously with the quarterback going back to throw it. But this Aaron Rodgers one's obviously something new. Now, I will say it's not the first time they've done this style because their F1 pops, they actually have holding the helmet, same exact thing
okay.
already. So that one did exist, and there's only like one, I think, and then a rumored one that never dropped. But one of the ones from Red Bull Racing, Sergio Perez, there's a pop of him. I think it was like a Funko Shop exclusive that came out with him holding the helmet. So it was like that same style. But for football, this is like perfect. You see them like this a lot of times on the sideline and stuff, and just
Yeah,
kind of holding the helmet. So getting this mold and other for other players, I think will be great. Even like I don't think they make this as a mold, but even if you didn't want to have the helmet on and you had them like holding the football kind of just in front of them, I think even that would be a cool like pose or something different.
agreed.
Instead of just like you said, like the quarterback throwing, like unless he's practicing, maybe he would look like that. But for the most part, he has the helmet on when he's throwing, right? But I love them all though. They're all cool. Definitely probably gonna go. For the most part, I love getting a lot of the NFL ones. Maybe I'll probably get them all. The Geno one, I'm kind of like my brother's a diehard Seahawks fan, so
Well, you don't need the
he
Geno
he
one.
would like it. But
Um,
but
Question for you though, because I know you have a ton of these. Has there ever been a pop of a quarterback kind of scrambling, like the Geno Smith
the
one?
Geno one, yeah, I was actually gonna say that that mold is obviously different. I want to say I feel like they do, like maybe Lamar Jackson or something like that, but I don't know for sure. I don't want to. I mean, I
Because
have a
that's
bunch of them in my
cool. I like
closet.
that one.
I have to double back on that, but yeah, that one's a good looking one for sure.
Oh, and we're also getting another Travis Kelsey one, which for some reason didn't make this image.
Yeah, yeah, they wanted to announce it. Well, of course, because it's Travis Kelsey. He's
Yeah,
got to
he
have his
needed.
own picture. He's got to have his own post. It's literally the exact same pop. They just flip the colors. He's wearing the white jersey instead of the red jersey. Like I said with Patrick Mahomes, they're going to keep milking the two. These guys are
Yeah,
popular. They're just going to make a difference in their jersey, which obviously the player itself, it's not their fault. They play for one team and the jerseys change once in a while. But I
yeah.
guess like the pose and everything could change a little bit. I'm pretty sure this is exactly the same as that one that blew up after the Taylor Swift stuff. So interesting to see how many of the Swifties buy this pop. I guess we will see because I'm sure they'll be
Yeah, I mean, Funko still,
going after it.
dude. I said this in millions of episodes. They should be paying Taylor Swift whatever she wants for her likeness to make a Funko Pop. That'll be
Yeah.
the fastest selling Funko Pop of all time.
Yeah. No, it definitely would. No, and then sending it on her own site, that kind of stuff, it would just
Yeah,
be
it'd be
bananas.
insane.
It has to be like she no way she wants them to do it
It's got to be.
or like something is wrong with Funko
Because you
not
could
wanting to
even
do it.
go the whole like she's a perfect artist to go the Michael Jackson route
Mhm.
of like, I mean, the Eras is her thing. The Eras tour, like you legitimately can make a million Taylor Swift Funko Pops. Not talking
Of
about Taylor
course.
Swift, but it would just Funko really, you need to do that.
Yeah, I agree. Uh I think I don't know. Was there any other ones that kind of there was something I was
The
really
only
excited
other one,
for?
which it's super cool, but I'm surprised they're still making them, is like those huge movie scenes. We
Oh
got
yeah,
the
yeah.
Void from Loki, which is such a sick scene in general, with all the different variants of the Loki. Um, that's all. I mean, it's cool. Part of me feels like they're probably going to make very few more of these and they'll phase them out because at this point, these are being sent to like Marshalls and TJ Maxx's and I mean, not that they're not cool, but they're just too big and
They're
like
too big, they're
yeah,
pricey, yeah.
they're not easy to display, but
But they do
it
look
still
cool.
looks cool.
I agree. Uh, okay, let's switch over to the Funime stuff. So last episode, like we said, was pretty much tailored around the announcement of this new NFT, this new Funko venture into some anime stuff. We got the Funime announcement. We had the new Atomic Freddy thing that was going to be coming out, and we got the announcement of the actual NFT set. The only pop that we saw on there was the 10-inch Battle Mech Freddy, which was a glow in the dark, and it was part of this what's the name of it? Mystic
Yeah,
Mythic
the mythic pack.
Mythic pack that is only 499, but you're guaranteed to get this in there as a 10-inch. So it was cool because it's different and it was new, but we had no idea what they were going to do with the rest of the pops. We obviously, made our predictions that they were not going to be IP based, but that they were going to be similar because just based off of looking at the pack pictures and stuff, excuse me, and kind of like assuming that's where they were going to go with. And that's definitely what they did. So they came out with this wave. So we're getting a royalty, a grail, and four legendaries. For this is going to be about like 25,000 packs, standard and premium, and then the 499 of the mythic. So we wanted to go over the actual redeemable because now we have the official looks and everything of the boxes and of the actual ones. So, like I said, there are the four legendaries, the Grail, and the Royalty. Just right off the bat, before we go into them, I think this is a really, really cool set.
Yeah,
I think they really did a great job with these molds. I love that we're going to get Franny involved in some of these. I love that we're getting definitely not real IPs, but certain characters that definitely look like
remind you of
you
them.
know what they are, yeah. And it's because, and I forgot to mention this, the actual name of it is Funime Cosplay. So perfectly makes sense that, Proto Freddy and Franny would be dressed as this, like if they were going to like a convention.
Yeah,
So it's like perfect. But you can go through some of the ones and then we'll kind of go back into which ones we like or we don't like and what these we think these are, in the terms of like the actual anime version. Uh but yeah, what are some of those
yeah.
the legendaries
I'm gonna start off with the Grail,
for the girl?
which I think is my favorite one. And you're not a huge fan of it, but it's Keiju Proto. So it's, I feel like now whenever we have Freddy drop, looks like it will be Freddy and Friends. Proto has been in every single one since he first was introduced. And I mean, you want are we gonna talk about when we get like what I think it's from, or we'll do that all at the end? What do you prefer?
You could do it now. Yeah. I
Yeah, so
mean,
I mean, this
this
is
one's pretty
very
obvious.
obviously it's like Godzilla or any of the legendary monsters.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think this is one is so awesome. Like I really want to pull this grill. As we
Yeah.
all know, the grills are only 999, which make them
Yep.
much harder to get. And this is going to be one of the quicker sellouts that I think Funko has had for NFTs in a very long time. So I think this will be very sought after.
Yeah, I mean, like just to kind of go into details and stuff too, like you said, like he's got like scaled, scales on him. He's holding onto buildings. So clearly he is an oversized giant creature, which for sure, resembles a Godzilla. Especially with the kaiju name, like that's basically what that means, a
Yeah.
giant creature type of thing. Uh, but it's funny. At first, like Charlie said, I was not like the biggest fan of this. I've come around on it. I'm still like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I've come around on like liking the fact that, it is like the Godzilla theme and it's a dog. So kind of perfect way, it's funnier to do that than to make Freddy into a Godzilla,
Exactly.
So great job that they did that. Holding the buildings, everything. I think it was just kind of funny because holding his tongue sticking out, and that's kind of what threw me off as to like what is he doing when I first saw it. But knowing like what the actual character is, it definitely fits it perfectly. And I mean, being the Grail is still going to be pretty awesome because I somehow luckily had some pretty good Grail
Yeah.
luck more than I've realized. Like Charlie actually knew more of the Grails that I have in my collection than I did. We were talking about it one time. But yeah, that one obviously is the Grail. So you can move on to the next
Yeah,
one.
so then the next we have Celestial Franny, which I love that we're getting Franny right off the back and
Hmm.
not just one, but there's another in this collection. And I mean, this is definitely like Sailor Moon vibes. Um,
Yeah, this is one of the ones that was on the artwork on the pack. So this is
yes.
kind of where we got that, like, oh, they're gonna go with the whole anime, not real, but it looks like it should have been this.
And the details are
Um,
great. I mean, so she's throwing up the peace sign. Like it's just like this is
yeah,
such great like
little
Japanese culture. Like
goggle
it's
things.
yeah, I mean, I actually love all of these. Like it's for the first time, it's like these are all really great. Um, the next one we get is Fun Force Freddy, which I mean, he kind of for me gives off like a Power Ranger type vibe, but I mean, you could say this is many of things.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like this is probably one of the lower ones on my list out of all these, but it's still super cool.
yeah. I was just gonna say it's the one I don't like really at all. Um, okay with the like the mold and everything. I think I don't like the colors. I think that's kind of what really throws me off. And then like you really can't tell it's a Freddy besides that he has
Exactly.
freckles. Even with the
It
crown, they went with it on the front, not on his head. So like, I don't know. It's just definitely the least
it
favorite.
almost looks like an Invincible pop. I don't know if you're familiar with
Yeah, yeah,
Invincible.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
almost like they
Like that
took
one that's in the fusion, Funko
yeah, yeah,
Fusion. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
It's interesting. But once again, I like it, but it's definitely probably my least favorite. This next one I think is incredible. I may butcher this, but Kitsune Mask Granny.
hmm,
Um, I this one is just so sick. The details, her mask.
yeah.
I just love this one. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, no, I agree. This is one of definitely one of the best, very like Japanese screaming anime cosplay, the Demon Slayers of the world and like those like it's
Yes.
just screaming that and obviously with the mask inside, it's a cool looking mask, it's feminine, which is great to like add to her, but she looks badass. I like how her crown is small and it's just like a almost like one of those like a princess type of
Yes.
thing. It's not just like a big crown on her head. Awesome. Like this is definitely one of the best ones. I think I there's two that I think are like the best ones, and this is one of them, and the next one you're going to talk about, uh, for sure. And it's great that it's a Freddy and a Franny.
Yeah, I mean the next one's amazing. It's Ramen Freddy.
Yeah,
He's eating the noodles. One thing I love about his hair is like all messed up. It's like
yeah,
messy. Um, we've seen this mold kind of with other things, but it doesn't matter. It's just so perfect for this. And
yeah.
I like, and he has like swords behind him. I mean, like I even love how in the front, you see a little bit Japanese writing, and like the top of
Hmm.
that has the crown. The detail in these Funko Pops as of late has been incredible in my opinion. And yeah, this is a must have for me too. Like,
Yeah, totally agree. And some of my favorite, because I do have some anime pops, and I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan, but some of my favorites are two, like I have a Goku and a Vegeta eating ramen, like noodles. Like that's I think what they call it, eating noodles. And like two of my favorite pops, because I just like love the way they look, and this is what it reminds me of, and it's a great, representation of that. And like you said, with the Japanese writing in the front and everything, and the sword stuff, so like super cool job by them. And like I said, this one and the Franny previously are probably the two most that I would be most excited to get. They're just regular legendaries, so it's not like as hard as getting the Grail.
yeah.
But for sure would love to get those. And then of course the last one being the royalty.
Yeah, the royalty is awesome. Ultimate Freddy. It's metallic, so that's like
Mhm.
a little special that we're going down there. I mean, and he kind of has like a mech look. He's kind of definitely performing like kind of a move with stuff coming out from his
Yeah, like a
hands.
blast type of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Um, super cool. I love this one. Part of me, though, a little bit was just like, I feel like Franny should have been the royalty, even though I'm happy we're getting two. Or it's just random that this entire set is Freddy's and then that's just the royalty. I mean, I guess that's what it's been in the past, but for the last Halloween one, it was Proto. And then for the Halloween ones, I remember it was like a pumpkin mask, so it didn't really look like him. But I mean, I'm just making a complaint to make one because this is
Yeah.
awesome. It's just interesting that they chose this one to be the royalty. Like, I don't know where their thought process was, or it was just like, okay, this one's cool. We're making it a royalty.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because you made it like metallic, you made it a little bit
Yeah.
different than the other ones, a little unique. But I agree, like the whole like blast thing is cool. Like, I don't know if I love the like the head mold and like having that like it almost looks like a transformer like helmet on.
Yeah.
Like, don't love that. Like, I wish it kind of just was Freddy more, maybe in like a Street Fighter style type of like him blasting, but like not necessarily the mech because we already kind of got that with that whole 10-inch. So
Exactly.
that's kind of like where it's like, you kind of like double down on that, even though obviously it's a little different. Again, if some of these are a little bit more specific to an actual anime that we may not know about, like let us know because we're not like the most
Exactly.
educated when it comes to every single anime. Like if you know who the Fun Force Freddy really is really resembling, or even this one, the Ultimate one, definitely let us know. I know that like Battle Mech one, like I've seen because there's a store in the mall that I work at who just it just recently opened up, and it's like very very Japanese and anime style a store with collectibles and food and all that kind of stuff. And in the front, they have this enormous, like maybe 6, 7 foot, 8 foot, like piece that it looks exactly like that
That's
Battle
funny.
McFreddy. It's crazy. And it's like a numbered piece too. It's like it's pretty nuts. I have to like take a picture of it, try to post it online so you guys can see, but it's really cool. But yeah, overall, the line is awesome. I do think this is gonna be pretty popular and it should do well. However, it's a pretty big amount of packs. So like I don't know if it will sell out. Like, and it's not because I don't think it's gonna be exciting and people will go after it. But I mean, obviously the 499 packs, I see them selling super fast because there's only 499 of them. Even if though their price is a little higher, we kind of priced it out. Obviously, you're getting 30 cards, so you're getting a lot of cards, and you're guaranteeing yourself a 10-ish pop, which usually 10-ish pops are a decent price, anyways. So it's a glow in the dark special. It's Freddy. We talked about it being the first one is 10-ish, like all that kind of cool stuff is going to make those packs still worth grabbing quickly.
Yeah.
And obviously that's going to take away from some of the funds of the packs and stuff. But then we got a lot of premiums and standards still. So I just feel like at that point, I don't know, maybe it
I mean,
will
there's
sell.
only 19,000 premiums. I know that sounds like a lot, but
Oh, okay. I thought it was like 20 something for some reason.
there's 23 standard.
Okay, maybe that's where I mixed it up.
I mean,
Interesting that they're doing more standard. Standard hasn't been selling. Remember for a while, standards were sell out and
yeah.
not premiums. Now it
And now
flipped
they
with the whole
flipped it
17
because they
cards.
gave you yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
which
makes more
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, it's like this isn't one of those ranges where it's not like a ton, but it's also not little. But there's never been a Freddy that hasn't sold out. April's Fool sold out. All the
All the
Halloween ones. Like
Halloween.
I don't see how this doesn't sell out.
Yeah. When it comes to that, I guess that does make sense. I mean, we'll see. I could see a similar, like we're going to talk about the last drop that came out, the horror one. I could see something similar to that where it was like almost sold out, but the premium, not the premiums, the
The
standards, because
standard.
there's more of them, or well, there's less of them now. The standards, they didn't. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. But definitely let us know. What do you guys think? Like now that you actually see the actual redeemables, are you just as excited? Are you more excited? Do you not care about this at all? I'm sure if you're like really not into anime at all and just like completely against it, I don't see why you wouldn't think this still looks cool because there's Freddy's and Franny's and stuff.
Agreed.
But maybe it's just like, it's not my cup of tea type thing. But because if I'm being honest, like if the ramen and the Kisuko, what is it? Yeah, Kisuko one, mask one, if those weren't in this at all, I don't know if I'd be that excited for the set. And
Which
I
is fair.
know, and I know the proto like would be in that case, I would be like, yeah, the proto's the best one. But I think having those two and then also having like a still a pretty cool looking proto and it being like a grail makes it even more exciting because that Fun Force one and even the royalty, like this may be a set I don't really go crazy to try to get the royalty. I may just try to get the redeemables, and that might be good enough for me. Um, but I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Do you think like the same way, or are you just kind of like really about trying to get all of them?
No, yeah, I think the same way. I mean, I probably will try to get the royalty if I, dive into these packs just because like I like doing it, but I'm agreeing with you where I feel like you don't need to love anime to like these. I almost look at this as like Japanese culture, which I know
Mhm.
anime is Japanese, but that's how like that's where I feel like they're really have like made all these different pops look like something like that. But you can obviously say it's anime as well. So I think that there's a lot of people who are into stuff like that who may not love anime, which
Yeah.
that may sound weird, but it's true.
No, for
Um,
sure.
so I just and once again, it's just the whole Freddy of it all. They just look cool, and it
Are
actually
you
is a
going after
perfect.
the mythic?
I want to try to get that. Yes, I do. Um, I think that pop looks sick. I like that it's the first ever Freddy 10 inch.
Hmm.
Um, even though one thing I'm a little surprised about, I mean, this is really nitpicking, but they announced, I think it may have been yesterday, that like within the 30 um cards that comes in that pack, like one of them is that redeemable. I feel like
Oh,
I
so
don't
it's not
it's only
30 random
29
cards, so it's only
cards.
29. That's a little.
That's like I
But
feel
I
like
mean, I guess it makes sense because like you have to redeem that. Like it still is from a
the pack.
card. Like a
Yeah,
card still is what gets you the
I
physical.
feel like though it should have been like
The
you get the
coin or
coin
something.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm really nitpicking here, but it's just kind of like what? Like I thought that was weird.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Trying to get my camera just went blurry for some reason. Sorry guys if you don't see me.
It looks good.
I don't know. Trying to get it back.
But I mean, I'm super pumped for this drop. I actually can't say enough awesome things about it. I just think they look super cool.
Yeah. No, I agree that it's something that is a really awesome, unique, different, and just kind of pretty badass
This is what they
overall
need to be doing. Like
set.
we've said this before, like, and I know we're gonna get into the WB series too, but that's another example of something that they made pops that like haven't been done before and
Hmm.
are kind of niche. Like Funko really needs to continue to do that. Like they just need to. They can't be making these like random, I mean, popular properties with like the new Scooby Doo one. I'm assuming you're gonna get a few characters in there that have been done before, and it's just like why?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe more villains. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll transition to another NFT thing because I did want to mention this. So the last drop obviously was WB Horror. We talked about it. We were excited about it. It was series two. I actually kind of really got excited for it the more as I saw it, the more I wanted to get some of these. I kind of wanted a little ham on the pack. So definitely was not expecting that at first, but I really wanted that royalty and I really wanted some specific, legendaries and the grail possibly that kind of thing when I opened up some packs. Um, I think you only got like one, right?
yeah,
I was kind of surprised, but you pulled something, which is
I did.
nice.
I would really because it's funny. I really want that mythic pack, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna not go crazy on this one because I did really like them, but they weren't for me personally. They weren't like must-haves, even though I did really like them.
Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I haven't gotten really, really gone into a hardcore into a set. So I wanted to do it with this one. So I did get like, decent amount of premium packs. I think in total maybe like eight, six, I think maybe. But I did get them in kind of waves. I got like a few, and they were still around. And I was like, I'm gonna get a couple more. And I honestly was going pretty cold for a little while. First like five packs, I didn't get anything, and I was just like, wow, this is such a waste. I was like building towards the royalty, but no legendaries. And then I just had a pretty crazy epic. Like if you follow on Instagram, I actually posted on my Instagram, pop underscore Migs, a little bit of like a reel of like a final pack type of thing that I had. And it was probably one of the single-handedly best packs I have ever opened.
I
I've
mean,
opened
it
packs.
is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've opened packs and like when I say like there's like multiple redeemables, like I've opened packs with multiple redeemables. Like I've that that's
Yep.
happened. So you get maybe two legendaries, or maybe you get a girl legendary. But this pack was crazy. And like, I mean, it's out there. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's not like necessarily like a spoiler or anything, but like I
Tell the
got
people
lucky
what they want
enough.
to hear.
Yeah, I got lucky enough to pull. Overall, I pulled three legendary, which were all the monkeys, which is funny. I didn't get any of the other legendaries. And I pulled three grails, which the grail in this set is so
So sick.
fire.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Got a glow, which only is really like the lantern, but it's super cool. The card is sick, like the actual NFT card with the coins falling out and stuff of his eyes. But that pack, I actually pulled two of the monkeys and two grails,
So good.
four redeemables, including two grails, which is insane. There's 999 of them. And it was like wild. The luck is so crazy because it really is just random. I don't know. It's just so out of nowhere. And I just had this like weird feeling. I was like, I want to get two more packs because at the time I had only gotten like the one monkey redeemable. And I was just like, and one grail actually. I did pull a grail a pack before. And or no, did I pull a grail
No,
after? I don't
you got
remember.
it. I'm pretty sure you got them in your final two packs.
Two packs. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it
Like
was.
your
I had
final.
only
Yeah.
like the monkey, and then I was like, let me get two more packs. And in one of them, I did pull like a grail, but then in that one pack, it just was two more of the monkey accordion monkeys, and then two more grails, and absolutely wild. And it was funny because I didn't really like I've like had this weird superstitious thing where like I don't want to record. I do it for my phone now more than like the computer thing. And I was like, I don't want to screen record because the last few times I've been doing that, like I've literally pulled crap. So I was like, I'm just gonna run through them. If I get it, I'll take a screenshot, like cool, I got the picture of it. But then I was like, this pack was just so crazy and so epic that I had to go back and just record you seeing each card to know that like it was literally Grail. The first card was actually a
I
Grail
know it's funny because you could see the grails right next to the
already
grail when
because
you
it's
went
the
there.
first one. Yeah, it's like Grail, and then like I had a regular card, then like a Grail. It's like a skip one, and then a couple random cards, and then back to back of the monkey. And I'm like, bro, what? This pack
It's
is
insane.
insane. I was going nuts. I was at work. I was like, no, freaking out because I'm like, there's no way this is actually happening. But yeah, definitely check it out. It was cool. And yeah, that set was pretty exciting. So I'm hoping that luck and everything spills over into this one. This is next week, actually, right? It's not this week that it comes out,
Yeah, May 14th.
or yeah, May 14th. So definitely look out for it for this new wave of the NFTs that'll be coming out. And then, like Charlie kind of mentioned quickly, there is a Scooby Doo Series 2, which I'm assuming is coming out a little later in May, maybe
Yeah.
a week or two after that. We haven't seen anything of those redeemables or what's coming out, but we'll talk about it when we do see it. Um, but I did want to mention this just to kind of, we're almost probably towards the end of the episode here, but
Yeah.
this was just kind of a funny like sellout that I never would have thought happened. But remember those Funko Classics
Yes.
tin box things, right? So that line was a way for a little while. Obviously, it ran with the whole 25-year anniversary. There was 25,000 of them. They resembled like the die cast, but it was honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, is the cheapest tin
Yeah.
casing ever. But it was cool on the inside. You had a pop that looked like it was a vault. It was to resemble a mold of a vaulted OG original line. The pop was like inside that box. You got a coin out of it. You got a really cool pin and
It's
even a
what you should get
card.
for the NFTs. The
Yeah,
card,
right. Like
the
the actual
coin.
NFT. Yeah, literally, it's so funny. And this is before I think NFTs are really big because they just kind of started ripping these out for 25,000. But we got another random one, and I think it's just funny because this was a Funko Shop exclusive specifically, but it was a 10,000 piece, so it wasn't related to. Oh, dude, I don't know if you've ever seen this. So I'm looking at it now. This is the first time I want to point this out. But real quick, so it's not 25 years exactly, obviously. But if you look at it, it actually says year two on the base instead of year one.
Didn't notice that.
The original ones, they say year
It
one.
did, but I had noticed that it was a different the piece count because I was like, they're at least smart enough to know the anniversary's over. But now it's like, was this
That's
a
why I was kind of like thinking, like, why is this still coming out because of the
yeah? But now is
anniversary?
this a plan all along?
Yeah, like every year they're gonna do this now, like a year two version of like I think this freaking wave needs to stop. If they're not making diecast and like diecast wasn't as like
Yeah,
and diecast is 10,000 times better
I
than this,
agree.
like you don't need this set anymore.
This
Like
should
I
have been
just
only
it
for the
sits
25th
around.
anniversary.
Yeah, it sits around. It's not like this probably could have fit into that 25th anniversary, I guess, but maybe they just made it late. I don't know. But the funny thing is this thing sold out. I think it looks pretty trashy. It's like whatever, but it's Darth Vader. Darth Vader. I've always made poke fun at, but it sold out. And at first, I thought it was 25,000, like you were saying, and I was like, how the hell did that sell out? They clearly faked that sell out. They're gonna come out later randomly or show up at like a random warehouse sale,
Right.
but we got 10,000 of them, so it is a lesser number. But I still think I don't know. It seems a little fudged. Like I don't know if
I
they
I
really
agree.
would
It
have sold
it
out or
may come
not.
back. Maybe it was like a nice. It sold out for May the 4th because like that's kind of why it came out. But I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
I'll be the
yeah, I
first
guess
to
that
admit,
makes
like
sense.
I wanted this, but there was no way in hell I was paying full price because, like you said, not only they just sit around. I think at one point during that crazy sale, they were giving them away for like $5.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll get this for $5 in a few months. So it is crazy, but
Yeah.
maybe this really is Funko making less inventory. And for all you know, maybe there actually aren't even 10K of them.
Yeah. The
It
the
could be a
number stuff
lie.
I've always thought the numbers were fake.
Yep.
I still think the only way that the numbers will essentially be more believable, and they've never done this, and I think well, technically they're doing it right now with that new Freddy what's it called? The
Yeah. Oh my
the,
God, because
the big ones.
Project Fred.
Project Fred is actual numbered piece
Agreed.
counts. Because if you got number 400 of 5,000 and number 500 of 5,000, like that's the only one. This other person. Now, if randomly you happen to see someone else posting the same number, then Funko's really screwing with us. But that's the only way to really like justify it. Because when you say 10,000, there could be 4,000, there could be 50,000.
Yep.
But with those numbers and you see it here and there, you're gonna think, oh, there's only 10,000 of them. But you really will never know. And that's the only way I think that they would ever like actually get us to really see the number piece count thing. But again, they don't ever do it. And they started doing it in the new Project Fred thing, I guess because you have to pay $300 for it. I guess that's the only way to do that. But
You would hope that they can give you some reassurance that they actually only made that amount for 300
yeah,
bucks.
another one. Um,
It's
but
funny
yeah,
though.
it's
One
funny.
one thing I actually want to say, speaking of numbered things, um, I had also saw sodas are now showing up at Five and Below. So this Funko is legitimately sending them cases of them in like their displays, and I mean, if you don't believe sodas are dead by now, like I don't know what it's gonna take for people to believe. Like, there's even people who have commented on our videos before, like sodas aren't going anywhere. I'm like, yeah, they're done.
It sucks, and I wish it wasn't true, but they clearly aren't. They're still continuing to cancel orders
Yeah,
and stuff that was supposed to come out is not coming out. And the thing is like what we're seeing at like, Five Below and all this other stupid thing is these ridiculous like ones that don't have like piece counts, a lot of them.
they're getting piece
And
count ones though. That's what made me think of it. Like
oh yeah,
there's
because these were piece count ones. They were
yeah,
Ted Lasso ones.
and I'm just like,
That's even weirder.
that's weirder because that also this was making me think like, was Funko slapping piece counts on these cans and changing them up, but still producing the same amount no matter what? Like, because the Roy Kent one was what is being shown. That was a popular soda. Like, it sold out when it was on
Dude,
Funko's
there's an
website.
Elvira. There's an Elvira one in the back of that. And
Uh,
actually, I'm really dissecting this picture. There's a Parks and Rec one. There's a Ted Lasso one. There's a Kent one. There's one Elvira one randomly, and then there's an international soda in the back.
I didn't
And you
see that.
can't see what
Okay.
it is. You only see the S in the soda, and you see the little globe, the international. So like it's really like a mix of random stuff, but it's just I don't know. The
It
whole
also
international
shows,
part is where like the numbers really started to get fluky with
yeah.
us when that started coming out. But yeah,
And
it's
Funko is really cutting their losses here because they just want to get some money back, but it shows like the sodas became premium $18. They're selling them to there and they're only selling them for $5. So
yeah,
that just shows you how cheap they sold them to them
to
for.
them. Yeah. It sucks because I love sodas and I had so many. I have not bought a soda in so long, but I have so many sodas. It's insane. But yeah, it just got too wild. But I'm kind of glad that it kind of slowed down because I don't, it would have been even out of control. And it was like I was slowing down as they were slowing down. So it was perfect.
Yeah.
But it is just one of those products that's like pretty wild that the downfall of it, and it kind of sucks because it was a really good product for while it lasted, and it really only lasted a few years.
Yeah,
If you think about it, it wasn't
it
out that long
nope, it wasn't.
because this was like
It came out during the
post
pandemic.
pandemic. Yeah, I was gonna say right after pandemic type of thing. That year is when it really launched, but you know we'll see. But I think that'll do
Yeah,
for
that's
the
it.
episode. Uh, Good one. Nice stuff. Some news, some leaks, interesting stuff. We're getting more, announcements coming out now. So we love talking about that. We'll continue to talk about that. Obviously we had conventions ending, C2E2, the Mexican convention thing happened. There wasn't much to talk about that when it came to that, but
No.
that happened. Obviously now everything's going to start gearing towards fun days and SDCC and everything over in San Diego. So I'm sure we'll start getting news on that front pretty soon
Yeah.
because that'll be coming up pretty fast. Actually, we're already into May, making our way towards episode 100, which I know we continue to talk
Yes.
about being very exciting moment for us here at Collector Chatter. And we really appreciate all the support and everybody. Even if it's only been a handful of you that have been from the beginning or new people, and some people leave and some people come, at the end of the day, even if we just get one or two people listening to us, it's still somebody that we could talk to and we enjoy talking about what we're doing.
Agreed.
It's not necessarily just for that, but we obviously would love to grow and have more people because we keep hearing that people love what we're doing, but not enough people probably know that we exist out here in this world. So, definitely subscribe and follow us, show love, push us through to other people, share us, whatever you got to do, because that'll definitely help us out, especially when we get to this big milestone episode. And some of the stuff that we're going to be, changing up for you guys. But I think that's going to be it. So great episode. Charlie will let you know everywhere to follow us, all the socials and all that kind of stuff. Definitely show support there. Make sure you are liking this video if you haven't already. And yeah,
Yeah.
take
So
it away.
make sure you're following us at Collector Chatter on Instagram and then at pop_Migs and at collect_Charlie. And as Mig said, please like this video, comment, let us know what you're excited about. What are some of the new waves you want to get? Are you getting the NFTs? Just let us know everything. Did you get that Darth Vader, tin box? Like, why did that sell out? And make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out that aren't just the podcast, because I actually still need to release my NFT video. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. I even have Lorcana videos set up to
I
come
still have a
out.
Lorcana video that I never
Yeah, it's
posted
just
it.
we've been busy. But so that's why you got to know. We'll just drop them randomly. So hit that
Yeah.
notification bell, like I said, and please subscribe. Also, if you're listening on the podcast platforms, leave us that 5-star review. Make sure you're following us and even leave a review for us on there. And I've even noticed some people have been interacting with our polls on Spotify, which I appreciate. So just like we said, and share us out, throw it out on Twitter, let people know who we are because we really, really appreciate it. And as Meek said, we have exciting things to come. We're really pumped for episode 100. So with that being said, until next time, collecting is the way. Later, everyone.
Bye, everybody.